control of the eastern Lushansk region.
There's been fierce fighting around that area for the last week or so, and we know that within the last 24 hours, the Moscow-backed separatists and a number of other Russian fighters had suggested that they'd encircled the city. The Ukrainians denied that until just a few hours ago, saying that simply wasn't the case, that fighting was continuing, but the city was not encircled. And then, just about an hour or so ago, they posted onto social media to say that the Ukrainian troops had withdrawn from the city because they wanted to try and save their lives, but they added, "We will be back and we will win." Now, the President has spoken in the last hour or so. He has said that losses were always expected, but they did what they had to do to make sure that they maintained their firepower and that they saved lives. But this is a big strategic win for the Russians. They've been battling there for a number of weeks. That became one of their main aims, to take this area after they realised that they weren't going to sweep through Kyiv and take that in the early stages of the war. So they diverted a great deal of resources down to the Donbass region and including the cities like this. And what has happened is that they have taken control of that. Now, you'll remember that in the Donbass in 2014, there were two Moscow-backed separatist groups who declared essentially independence and have been fighting Ukraine since then. And then on the eve of the war, Russia recognised both of those breakaway republics, for want of a better phrase. They now have control in one. They'll be turning their attention to the other area in the Donbass, the Donetsk, and they'll be hoping that they can take control of that very soon. It's taken them a lot longer to get a hold of Luhansk, but they'll be hoping they can do something much quicker. But that is now the new front line of the war here in Ukraine.
Time to get a preview now of what's happening on the Monday edition of Mornin Barbados with Pearson Bowen. Pearson, what are you looking at today?
Well, today is Caricom Day today, Shane, and we'll be taking some look at that as we continue to acknowledge that the Caricom heads of government are continuing to meet in Paramaribo. And certainly today in our conversations on Caricom, that's what Ambassador David Commission will be updating us on. And as is Caricom Day, there's a focus on renewable energy. And you know, the Caribbean is really calling out more for that. And we'll be meeting with the representative of the Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency to talk a little bit more about the plans and the progress. Also today, we'll introduce you to a low-cost spay or neuter clinic for those of you who are challenged by your pets and your animals. That and a whole lot more when you join me at 6:30 for Morning Barbados. It's back to you, Shane.
Thank you, Pearson. Well, how do the police intend to get illegal guns out of the hands of some Barbadians? You'll find out as we have the details to that story and more up next. The Barbados Police Service implementing strategies to get illegal guns out of the hands of Barbadians. During the first 6 months of this year, Police Commissioner Richard Boyce revealed 43 guns were recovered, and he described this as good work. The Commissioner was speaking during last night's edition of One on One, which is produced by the Public Affairs Department.
when you compare last year, this time, we were only able to get 27 guns out of a person's hands. So yes, the concern for murders and the involvement of guns is well known to us, and we put those things in place. Now, in terms of the actual firearms, yes, it is an interest to us, and we wondering how much more we can do, because if you look at even a 10-year span, every year we take actually 90 guns out of the hands of persons, but still we find that it's still replenishment where these are concerned, and there are certain reasons for that.
Commissioner Boyce also shone the spotlight on an issue where non-nationals granted 6-month stay were responsible for committing crimes.
Onstead, Pleasant View, an area where persons were concerned tremendously about it. And what we did, we carried out the analysis, we scanned the whole environment, we did the analysis, and we did the engagement. And what came up of that intervention is that we discovered that 2 persons, non-nationals I might say, were responsible for operating in that area. I will not mention the country, but for sure it was not the Haitians. What I would say is that persons come given 6 months to stay in the country, then run out of money. And what they were doing, they were just going in those areas and committing crime to continue living in the country, to survive.
The Commissioner also provided information that Barbados has seen a rise in murders for the first half of the year when compared to the same period last year. In 2021, there were 11 murders during this period. 61% of these crimes were committed by firearms, a concern for the Barbados Police Service. Overall, it was revealed by the Commissioner that there was a 2% increase in major crimes and a negligible 6% increase in overall crime. However, commercial burglaries and theft from persons trended downwards.
Robbery, we had 42 robberies in 2021 and 46 in 2022. Rape, there were 30 rapes in 2021 and 26 in 2022. Aggravated burglary, 33 in 2021 and 30 in 2022. Theft from the person, 25. This year, we have 20. Commercial burglaries, 86. This year, we have 67. All other burglaries, which pertains to dwelling houses and churches, 227. And this year, 262. Now, the total major crimes so far for the year is 464. And last year, we had 456.
Commissioner Boyce, however, believes that Barbados does not have a runaway crime problem, as the big increase in crime was in minor offenses.
I must say that because of the aspect of the intervention of firearms, that in itself would have caused much disquiet to members of the public. And because of that, we found that persons are inclined to see crime as running away. But in truth and in fact, looking at the raw statistics, it shows us, well, things are not that far off from last year. But I understand the concerns of the citizens, and that is why we continue to go over what I just want with my members and make sure that we go back to those areas where these crimes are occurring, talk to persons, reassure persons where there's that level of fear or where harm is anticipated. We do that reassurance policing to let persons know that things are not as bad as you think it is.
Now, speaking specifically to these firearms that police have been dragging off of the streets, though the 9mm handgun has been identified by Commissioner Boyce as the weapon of choice for criminals, high-powered weapons including the AK-47 and other rifles are being brought into the mix. The situation, according to the top cop, is one for concern for the Barbados Police Service.
Is it a concern? Because it is a concern because when persons are armed with such weapons, they have a big advantage on whoever the target is. So the target could be an ordinary law-abiding citizen going about their duties, and they become collateral damage in the sense they were not the intended target. And because they happen to be in that place at that time, persons can miss their target and injure someone who is an innocent bystander. And we don't want that to happen.
Commissioner Boyce also revealed some analysis of the 2019 murder toll, where 48 murders were reported, and he depicts the presence of killers for hire.
That is, a person termed hits. That is, persons will have disputes. Instead of the person themselves taking revenge, what they will do, they will employ persons to take revenge on their behalf for money. And the person who carry out those hits, not just to a cuff or a little fall or whatever, some form of tell you, well, you know, let the person know they'll behave or not. What the person went to the very limit in taking that person's life. And it happened in more than roughly 6 occasions, I recall, that those types of incidents happened. So those were type of offenses that really push 2019 figures way out of the regular, normal level of crime that we would normally see.
In other news, in the morning report, we hear that government is continuing to explore new methods to absorb the rising cost of petroleum products on the island. The revelation is coming from the Minister of Energy and Business, Kerry Simmons. During a church service at the Calvary Temple Community Church yesterday, reflecting on government's efforts to cap value-added tax on fuel in the 2022 budget, Minister Simmons said new interventions to shield Barbadians from rising costs may be necessary at this time.
We have to find ways of intervening, and you will remember that in the last budget we didn't intervene in order to cap the amount of value-added tax you paid, and I am made to understand that the discussions between the Ministries of Finance and the Ministry of Energy is now so advanced that the Prime Minister may be persuaded to agree that a different type of intervention will shortly come. I'm not making an announcement from this place, but bear with me, that will soon happen. But we understand that there has to be, again, intervention, but there's only so much that government can do.
Let's go further afield now, as police overseas in the U.S. have released a video on Sunday showing 8 officers involved in a shooting that killed an unarmed black man who fled a traffic stop on June 27th in the city of Akron in the U.S. state of Ohio.
Jaylen Walker was killed after officers stopped him for a traffic violation last Monday. His family's lawyer says he was shot more than 60 times. Body camera footage from the 8 officers who killed Walker and 5 others on the scene will be used in an independent investigation.
We do not know the exact number of rounds that were fired. Again, this is something that BCI will discover in their examination of evidence. However, based on the video, I anticipate that number to be high. A lot of rounds were fired, and I will not be surprised if the number at the end of the investigation is consistent with the number that has been circulating in the media. But right now, we just don't know.
Well, John Hendren joins us now from Akron in Ohio. John, you were at that rather unusual press conference a short while ago. Why did the police feel the need to share that evidence with the public?
Well, this is a town very concerned about what might happen. They've watched the killing by a white police officer of a black man, George Floyd, and how that launched protests and sometimes riots in every major city in the United States. And they've sent out signals that that is the thing they're very worried about here. The downtown looks like a fortress. There are sanitation trucks blocking all of the major roads around the Justice Center, which includes the court and the police station. There is a barricade around that building as well. The family has asked for people to respond peacefully, but to speak up for Jaylen Walker and what happened to him. And the police chief and the mayor both said the same thing. It seems like what they want to do is get this out there as quickly as possible, make it clear that they will launch a transparent, independent investigation. That is actually being done by state authorities. They've handed off the investigation, so the police aren't investigating themselves, at least not that police department. And they want to make clear that they're trying to do this correctly. I asked the police chief if he found the number of shots fired, reportedly as high as 90, excessive. He said he wasn't going to comment on that, but he said there were a lot of shots fired. There was one clarification on the number of bullets in Jaylen Walker's body, and that is that they said there were 60 wounds, but they weren't clear yet. They were still counting which ones were entrance wounds and which ones were exit wounds. So that would appear to suggest there were somewhere between 30 and 60 wounds there.
Let's go over to sports now, and Barbados finished 13th in the inaugural Caribbean Games, 2 silver medals in swimming and netball in the final session, while they took the tally to 6. Our Anne-Marie Burke has been there on the ground and has more on the Barbados effort.
Guadeloupe has welcomed the best of the region's under-23 athletes. It's the Caribbean Games 2022. Here now is the report from Team Barbados. Brought to you through our kind sponsors, Powerade, Feel the Power, The Sunny Water, Connect Mind and Body, Dave's Supercut, the best tree trimmers and fellows around, Corporate General Insurance, you're not just a policy holder, you are an owner, and the Barbados Olympic Association, inspiring excellence, fueling passion. Swimmer Danielle Treasure will leave these inaugural Caribbean Games as Barbados' most successful athlete, as she claimed a second silver medal last evening when competing in the 400-meter freestyle event. She finished in a personal best time of 4 minutes 26.08 seconds. You will remember that Danielle claimed the island's first medal of these games when she claimed silver in the 200-meter backstroke. It was also a silver for the Bajan Gems netball team as they finished that competition having lost only one game to eventual winners Jamaica. Last night they had one last assignment against host Guadeloupe and they demolished them at 94-5. You also remember that last evening in track and field, Gail claimed silver in the 400 meters, while Jamel Miller was second in the triple jump and Nathan Crawford Wallace third. Now, both jumpers also had personal bests.
It was a great experience to represent my country for the first time ever. It was great to experience the different cultures and language barriers that they have here, but ultimately it was fun.
It feels great to be able to come to Guadeloupe to represent my country in the event that I love. I really had a good time. The focus was to go there and have fun and just let the performance speak for itself.
I must make mention of judoka Malachi Desir. He fought his way into the bronze medal fight but was unfortunately beaten by Martinique's Melvin Bongo and finished joint 5th overall with Haiti's Johnson Pierre. So there you have it, an overall strong performance by Team Barbados here at the inaugural Caribbean Games in Guadeloupe. A commendable 6 medals, 5 silver and 1 bronze. Signing out for the final time from Guadeloupe, I'm Anne-Marie Burke for CBC Sports. The Caribbean Games in Guadeloupe, brought to you through our kind sponsors, Powerade, Feel the Power, The Sunny Water, Connect Mind and Body, Dave's Supercut, the best tree trimmers and fellows around, Corporate General Insurance, you're not just a policy holder, you are an owner, and the Barbados Olympic Association, inspiring excellence, fueling passion.
And just an update for you on some test cricket action live on now. England versus India. That's being played in Birmingham. Looking at those scores, India 416 and 186 for 4. England, they scored 284. Chedaswar Pujara, he was just out to Broad for 66, but still at the crease is Rishba Pant, the Centurion from the first innings. He's at the crease on 53, and with him is Suresh Iyer. He's on 19. So those scores again, 416 and 186 for India. And a strong batting performance from them. England, 284, trying to bowl out England. The current lead for India is 318. Let's look at weather now. It's 27.6 degrees Celsius on the outside. It's cloudy and slightly hazy. The relative humidity stands at 79%. The barometric pressure 1013.5 millibars, and those winds are coming out of the east-southeast at 35 kilometers per hour. We'll see a high tide this morning at 6:33. That's 27 minutes to 7. There will be a low tide in the afternoon at 1:15. Those seas are moderate in open water. Swells are between 1.5 and 2 meters and increasing. Today in Barbados, we'll have a mix of sunshine and clouds with a few brief scattered light showers. And tonight we'll have a mix of clear skies and cloudy periods with a few intermittent scattered light showers. And here's a look at the international weather forecast. That's it for the Monday, July 4th edition of the CBC Morning Report. I'm Shane Seeley. I'll see you at 7 with headline news. Up next is Pearson Bowen with Mornin Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today, Monday, July the 4th, 2022. I am Pearson Bowen, welcoming all of you here, there, and everywhere. Thank you so much for joining us too on our social media pages, on YouTube and on Facebook. To watch our streams, to engage with us there as well. Always grateful for your company. Now, today being Monday, today we'll be having our conversations on Caricom. Today is Caricom Day, July the 4th. I know a number of you remember that date for other reasons. One of the reasons that you need to start paying closer attention to is the reality that Caricom Day is July the 4th, and so there are people across the region who are marking today as a holiday, Caricom Day, particularly in Guyana, the headquarters of Caricom Secretariat. But we will have our conversations on Caricom today, as yesterday was the opening ceremony for the heads of government, and we want to hear what's on the cards and what's in the plan for the rest of the region. Also today, we'll be taking a look at the renewable energy and Barbados' interests in renewable energy and the regional interest in renewable energy as well. Where are we and what's next on the cards? Pace Digital, we told you about that before and we will tell you about it again today. What is Pace Digital and how can it bring quick cash to your business endeavor as well? And how can you, as one of the consumers, be able to make payments very easily without passing cash? Pace Digital will join us to talk about that. Of course, today we'll be having our Unscramble the Letters, a chance for you also to win some water this morning with us. We'll reintroduce you to Dr. Pauline Morris, who's in Qatar. What's she doing there? In our Bajan Afar, we'll join with her in just a moment. But low spay neutering too, we'll be taking a look at. So, let's get started today by looking at the Caricom Day. The representative of the Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency joins us now. Her name is Sapphire Vital. Good morning to you, Sapphire.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Now, the voice sounds Bajan, am I right?
Well, yes and no. I grew up in Barbados, but I was born in Dominica.
Oh, that explains the name. So now I understand. Thank you so much for clarifying that for us. But you represent the Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency. And some are going to ask, what is that? Tell us about the work you do.
So we are the Caricom institution that is designated as the implementation hub for sustainable energy. So we really look at all things renewable energy and energy efficiency and helping the Caricom member states to accelerate their adoption of renewable energy and to reach their energy efficiency targets. So to do this, for example, we have 3 flagship projects that we kind of focus on. And I guess I can speak a little bit more about that, but those are the Integrated Resource and Resilience Planning Program. We also have the Project Preparation Facility, and we have the Caricom Energy Knowledge Hub.
We're going to get to those in just a moment, but because of where you sit, do you have a, I was going to say global, but regional view of where the region is as it relates to renewable energy and its status? What can you tell us this morning about that? Where is the region in its move towards renewable energy?
Yes, so every year the SICRI, we do what we call energy report cards. So we look at where each member state is in terms of their renewable energy share in their electricity generation. So as a region, as of 2020, that's the latest data that we have attained 11% renewable energy penetration, which is a bit short of our target, as we're aiming for 47% renewable energy by 2027.
So then the question is, what do you think we need to do to make up that shortfall?
I think there's a lot that we need to do, and I think in the first instance, a lot of our countries, we have very good ambitions. So for example, with Barbados, we know that the aim is to be 100% renewable by 2030, and there are a number of other countries who have that 100% or very high percentage target. So I think the political will and the ambition is there. So as we move forward, a lot of our utilities, for example, have begun to build solar and other types of renewable energy farms, and then the private sector and public, so households are already beginning to look to renewable energy, for example, with solar panels on their homes. So I think holistically, if we look at, the input from these different stakeholders together, we can move forward to attain our targets.
You say the governmental will is there, but it also needs to be lived out through policy or creating the environmental space for it to happen. So these projects, I suppose, that you're engaged in are going to be a part of that process. So can you walk us through those projects, those 3 projects you mentioned very briefly to us earlier on, so we get a sense of what is the trajectory for us sustaining our renewable energy?
Right. So the first one I mentioned was our Integrated Resource and Resilience Planning Program. And what that is to working with the utilities from each of the Caricom member states. That is the aim, to develop sectoral plans for the electricity sector, to see, for example, how can renewable energy be incorporated into the national grid? How can utilities, how can the governments meet their targets through a mix of different renewable energy sources, as well as conventional sources. And from those plans, we anticipate we would have a portfolio of renewable energy projects. And that's where the second facility, the Project Preparation Facility, comes into play. And what the facility does is to aid governments, private sector organizations with the development of their projects. So we provide technical assistance, we provide advisory services, as well as matchmaking services. So matching projects to sources of finance so that they can really and truly get off the ground. And then thirdly, we have our Caricom Energy Knowledge Hub, and that is to be really a center for best practices and knowledge on sustainable energy, to build our knowledge base and to ensure that we're not always working from ground zero, but we can tap back into the knowledge these that we learn as we develop projects, as we develop the integrated resource and resilience planning, and really push forward.
Do you get the sense at the Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency that there is cooperation among the states so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel and that we can all learn from each other's best practices? Do you get a sense of that cohesiveness?
Yes, I think the cohesiveness is definitely there, and it's building, and it's going forward and getting better. So, for example, last year there was a high-level meeting that was held with the ministries of energy, with international finance institutions to really speak about the portfolio of the end of the sustainable energy sector in the region. So we came forward as a collective front to say, okay, we have X amount of solar in the pipeline, solar projects in the pipeline, X amount of geothermal projects in the pipeline, and see how we can attain finance as a broader region rather than individually, because there are strength in numbers.
Give us I know you have me so fascinated by the geothermal energy sources. Now, we know that generally those come from beneath the earth. We're talking here about the volcanic islands in particular. Is that what's happening there? So what are some of the projects that you're seeing there that can excite all of us in the region that there is that source of energy available?
So there are projects that have been ongoing for a while. So for example, in Dominica, there's a pretty large geothermal project that is in the works. Other countries that have had interest in geothermal and who are working on projects include Nevis. I believe there's been also some exploration in St. Lucia, as well as St. Vincent. So there are projects that are some are ongoing. There are different stages, but there's progress there as well, definitely.
So we're really talking here about a mix of sources, different sources, because not all of us, we are not volcanic at all here on the island of Barbados.
Right.
But certainly we do have the benefit of where we stand being wind energy. There's also solar energy, and there are many other sources as well. So we're talking about that mix in the grid that can provide relief and really efficiency in the use of our consumption of energy sources. But at the same time, we're also looking at, you know, some high prices on oil and how oil impacts that fuel cost, impacts the cost of production. Is that also going to be a part of your efforts going forward to reduce the reliance on those other sources?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that we do the core vision or mission of it is to ensure that we have energy supply that is more reliable, so we're not and secure, so that we're not relying on fossil fuels and the fluctuation of the oil prices. So we have our energy that we generate locally, and also that it can be more affordable. So if we are generating our electricity from renewable energy sources, the sun, from the wind, technically free resources, then the overall energy is more affordable.
How can we share, not just from the Knowledge Hub alone, but is it possible that here it is where we're developing our solar farms, and can we now use that solar energy and send it across the waters to somebody else who might need some support in their energy grid?
I mean, that is possible. It's possible. It's not something, we don't have the infrastructure as yet, but for example, with the geothermal project in Dominica, there have been discussions about exporting energy to nearby islands, Guadeloupe and Martinique. But these are things that are definitely in the works and very early stage and have not been done as yet.
It is so exciting to know that at the Caricom level in particular, we're collaborating in the ways that we are, particularly at the Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency on these projects, because they will excite the Caribbean person, because we are challenged by high costs in fuel, and therefore our energy bills are looking not so pretty. But you know, we're excited about what the future could possibly hold in solar and wind energy here on the island, and then the geothermal energy possibilities across the region as well. So we can't wait to hear an update. What do you think is the ultimate goal? What are you seeing as you set for yourselves there at the center as some of the next steps that you'd want to pursue?
I think the next steps is just generally continuing to support countries as they seek different projects, to provide that project development support, to provide that planning support, to do whatever is necessary to provide a collective front as a region as we seek financing from different international institutions to support the renewable energy transition. So I really see us as a center leading the way in those efforts.
Do you guys get, today being Caricom Day, all in the start of the Caricom Heads of Government meeting, do you guys get a chance to sit with the heads of government collectively and say, here's what we've discovered, here's what we've found, here's what we recommend?
I believe yes. So the executive director, for example, would be a part of those type of meetings and would be able to share his thoughts as well in conjunction with the Caricom Energy Program at the Secretariat about the critical next steps for the region in sustainable energy.
Sapphire Vital, it's been tremendous talking to you this morning. Thank you so much for renewing our energy about renewable energy, because sometimes we become so daunted because it feels as if it's taking so long. But we're actually seeing the fruits now beginning to at least the buds are coming up on the shoots, and we can see the future beginning to blossom beautifully before us. So Sapphire, you are the representative of the Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency, and we say thank you for joining us this morning. All the best with your projects going forward.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And happy Caricom Day to you.
Thank you. Same to you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you too. Morning Barbados takes a break right here on Caricom Day, and we're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We have 15 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. We fall in love with our pets. We don't fall in love with the cost of care and maintenance of our pets. And as a consequence, they can overwhelm us because of overproduction. And so there's a clinic that offers help in situations like these for those of you who are encountering it. It's called Canine Friends Barbados. Joining us to talk a little bit more about their spay-neuter campaign is Karen Millen, who is the treasurer and founding trustee of Canine Friends Barbados. With her is Doreen Boyce, the owner of Woodbourne Kennels. Good morning, both of you ladies.
Good morning.
Oh, I can hear those happy animals keeping noise early o'clock in the morning indeed. And that's a good thing to hear, because they are delightful. Pets are delightful, but they become a pest when we don't know how to manage them. And let's talk a little bit, starting with you, Karen, a little bit about what Canine Friends offers when it comes to us being able to handle and manage our pets.
Okay, so basically we've got a clinic set up here at Woodbourne Kennel, and we offer low-cost spay and neutering to those people that can't really afford to go to a commercial veterinary clinic. So people can call, they make an appointment, we'll give them a price depending on their ability to pay, and the dogs come in and they go back the same day.
Now, for those who are watching who wonder, why do I have to even bother with spaying? Why don't I just let it loose and let it go its merry way?
Because if you do that, your dog, whether it be male or female, is going to be responsible for many, many puppies. And they're not wanted. There's not enough good homes in Barbados for all the dogs that are on the island. So they end up straying, they get thin, they get thrown into gullies, they get poisoned, and they come eventually to one of the shelters on the island in an extremely poor state. And we all have to spend thousands of dollars on them to get them better. Medication. Thankfully, we've got some wonderful vets on the island that not only work for us here, but have clinics that we have to go and use because we don't have the facilities here for lots of operations that are needed. So they go off to clinic and they get made better, and everyone works miracles upon them, and then we're left with loads of dogs looking for a new home.
And that can be akin to cruelty to animals. You see a dog, you see a pet, and you see something else. Others probably look at it and say it as not just a nuisance, but as a moment of pleasure, but after that, you get away from me. So help us understand what pets mean and how pets feel, and why we should now be more aware and sensitive to how we treat pets.
Okay, so dogs have the intelligence of an average 3-year-old human child. So if you think anyone that's had children will know that when they're 3, their brains are very active, they want to explore, the world's a wonderful place. Dogs are no different. So for many dogs here, somebody wants it when it's a puppy because it's very cute and appealing, and then they take it home and they put it on a chain in the yard. If it's lucky, it gets fed once a day, if not maybe once a week. And it doesn't have fresh water, and the novelty wears off when it's no longer cute. It's not been trained, so then it starts jumping up. People don't want it, so it either languishes on the chain until it dies, or they'll just let it loose and throw it away or dump it somewhere. So I don't think people here really understand the needs of their dog. And there are plenty of organisations on the island that will help and explain to you and offer advice on how you should look after your dog.
Darren, we turn to you now. Help us understand from Woodbourne Kennel's point of view what we need to know and understand about care of our dogs.
Well, as Karen says, you do need to know about how to bring them up from puppies. They have to be socialised. It's no good just putting them outside and just feeding them. They have to be walked, they have to be groomed, they have to have medication, they should be licensed. And you know, they're just dogs that would be okay within the home, not just outside.
So what solution can Woodbourne Kennels provide?
The only solution we can provide is to explain to people exactly what their pets need. We take in a lot of dogs that have now gone over. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Sorry. We've got a lot of dogs that come back to us because they're no longer puppies, they're no longer fluffy puppies, they're no longer cute and affectionate, and it's because they've not been used to going out for a walk, or you know, or doing things within the family. As you can see, some of our dogs that come in here are in a terrible state, but these are the dogs that have been abandoned or not socialised.
So Karen, the spaying and neutering campaign is on. So how can people have their pets, avail their pets really of this service? And is it cruel and painful? What's the experience like?
No, it's certainly not cruel. That's one of the biggest problems here in Barbados. A lot of the males here, human males, think they project their own sort of sexuality onto their dogs. So they think that particularly if a male dog is neutered, then you're depriving him of a sex life, which dogs will only normally mate if there's a female in heat. So it's quite different to human beings. So it's not painful because they get put to sleep while we're doing the operations, and we use the same anaesthetic that's used on humans in hospitals. So it's very safe, it's very quick for them, and they recover in the clinic and go home happy in the afternoon. So if anybody is interested in that, they can find us on Facebook and send a message. They can email us at caninefriendsbarbados@gmail.com, or they can leave a WhatsApp message on the telephone, which is 248-1552.
So those are ways we can contact you indeed. This campaign that you're on, is it free of cost, low cost? Is it by appointment? How does it work?
It's definitely by appointment. and it is very low cost, but there's not a set fee because we judge people on what they can afford to pay. So some people may pay very little and others pay a little bit more. And most people are quite upfront with us on that and will say how much they can afford.
So you come to the clinic and you said within the day you can be back out and your pet goes merrily along.
Oh yes, they all go home in the afternoon. All of the dogs go home.
Right, in the afternoon. But Doreen, from your point of view, if I'm finding that my litter is so unmanageable, can I bring them to the kennels and leave them with you?
Only if you promise to get your female spayed. So that I don't have the same thing 6 months later.
Yes, yes.
We're mostly a boarding kennel really, but because we have extra kennels here, people do use us for rescue as well. And quite honestly, I very rarely turn anybody away.
That's very good.
I should do, but I very rarely do.
This love of yours for dogs, though, Doreen, tell us a little bit about this journey because, you know, as I said, it is for a lot of people just the other thing in the house, but you don't see it simply as the other thing in the house. It's a real living creature. So let's hear a little bit about your love of dogs.
Well, my love of dogs is the fact that if you've got a husband there and you can shout and holler and scream at him, when you come home that evening, he's still got the sulks, but if you come home with the dog, he's still got a waggy tail. Dogs don't hold grievances. They love you to, you know,
yes.
forever, really.
Yes.
But the only ones that are fearful of humans are the ones that are beaten or starved or neglected in the fact that they're not handled enough. I've been in dogs most of my adult life, and quite honestly, I'd rather have a dog than a human friend.
I love it. At least you're honest. You're honest. So to a fault, they'll wag their tail once you've shown them the appropriate amount of love. The human, however, is a totally different experience. What about you, Karen?
Definitely.
What about you, Karen? What's been your journey of love so far with the animal?
Right from a child, really, as far back as I could remember, it was dogs, dogs, dogs. I just think they're the most amazing creatures. Like Doreen said, they don't hold grudges. They're very loving. They're very intelligent. I mean, all over the world, dogs are used to rescue people from mountains. They're used by the police to sniff out drugs and counterfeit currency. They're now used in a lot of countries they can detect cancer in humans before any sort of tests can. So they are really great animals and they deserve a lot more respect and help than what they get. And here in Barbados, it is really bad, the situation for the dogs. And if I can just mention, when you had some of those photographs up just now, you had one of our dogs, Charlie, who was picked up from the dump and burnt under his lower body, which we thought at first someone set him on fire, but the vet said no, it was a chemical burn. So we don't know if that had happened where he was living or whether it was something that had been discarded at the dump. But he was brought to us. He was in a terrible state and growling, obviously in pain. He looked like an old man, but he actually turned out to be under a year old. And after months and months of treatment with Doreen and us here, you can see that his coat turned a beautiful grey and he was a happy, lovely dog, and he got adopted by a guy that came to one of our fundraisers and went back. Yeah, that's it. Same dog, unbelievably, it's the same dog. And he ended up going off to Jersey, which is one of the Channel Islands of Great Britain. And there he lives a lovely life. And I just wish that we could do that for all the dogs here, that they could all have a lovely owner and be taken care of.
Where do you get the support from to do all of this work?
Well, we're very fortunate with Canine Friends because we have Simon Cowell as our patron. So he helps us a lot. But we also have got some lovely people both here and overseas that will donate to help us, because obviously every operation that's done in this clinic is subsidised, everyone. So it does cost us an awful lot of money a year to run the clinic. So we try our best. We don't get any support from the government. We've not asked them. We don't want any money, but we would like them to endorse what we're doing and show some support, not just for myself and Doreen, but all the other. You've got the RSPCA, you've got the ARC, Ocean Acres. All of those shelters are full up, as always, and they all require help and assistance to do the job that basically the government should be doing.
All right, so let's just remind folks before we go about how they can now have their animals spayed and neutered through the campaign by Canine Friends Barbados. How can they do so?
So they can go on the Facebook page, just type in, it's a letter K and a number 9, Canine Friends Barbados. They'll find us, they can leave a message there. They can email us at caninefriendsbarbados@gmail.com, or they can call the WhatsApp, and that is 248-1552.
There it is, folks. The information is right there on your screen. The telephone number, 248-1552, or send an email to caninefriendsbarbados@gmail.com. The clinic is located at Woodbourne St. Philip, and they're open to assist you who cannot afford commercial veterinary fees to have your dogs neutered. Each surgery prevents unwanted litter from being abandoned or surrendered to shelters, lower risk of disease. They help to reduce pet overuse and overpopulation, and they can help with adverse behaviors. All of that available with Friends, Canine Friends Barbados. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. I really hope that people see pets not just as a commodity, but that living, breathing creatures. And as Doreen reminds us, it wags its tail, it doesn't hold grudges. And because it doesn't hold grudges, we have to take greater care of them. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much for having us.
You are very, very welcome. Take care and bye-bye. Karen Millen, who is the treasurer and founding member, friend and trustee of Canine Friends Barbados. With her was Doreen Boyce, the owner of Woodbourne Kennels, reminding you to get onto the campaign. Have your dog neutered or spayed today. We'll take a break right here. When we come back, the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So to update us all on the news at this hour, once again, here is Shane Seeley.
Thank you, Pearson. Here's your headline news for this Monday, July 4th, and some unfortunate news this morning as police and fire officials are on the scene of what was a deadly house fire in Breezy Hill, St. Philip, which has claimed the lives of 4 people. Acting Police Public Relations Officer Stephen Griffith confirmed the victims are 2 adults and 2 children. Their identities have not yet been released as the next of kin is yet to be notified. The blaze is reported to have occurred around 3:30 this morning. We have more details for you on what is a developing story as they become available. Meanwhile, we're hearing from the Commissioner of Police this morning, Richard Boyce. He's revealing lawmen are implementing new strategies to get illegal guns off the streets and out of the hands of Barbadians. Describing the effort so far for the year as good work, he says 43 guns have been recovered.
When you compare last year, this time, we were only able to get 27 guns off a person's hands. So yes, the concern for murders and the involvement of guns is well known to us, and we put those things in place. Now, in terms of the actual firearms, yes, it is an interest to us, and be wondering how much more we can do, because if you look at even a 10-year span, every year you take actually 90 guns out of the hands of persons, but still we find that it's still replenishment where these are concerned, and there are certain reasons for that.
However, the murder rate is on the up when you compare it to the same time last year. The statistics so far, Barbados has registered 13 homicides this year when compared to 11 for the same period in 2021. 61% of these crimes were committed using firearms, a concern for the Barbados Police Service. Overall, it was revealed by the Commissioner that there was a 2% increase in total major crimes and a negligible 6% increase in overall crime. However, commercial burglaries and theft from the person trended downwards.
Robbery, we had 42 robberies in 2021 and 46 in 2022. Rape, there were 30 rapes in 2021 and 26 in 2022. Aggravated burglary, 33 in 2021 and 30 in 2022. Theft from the person, 25. This year, we have 20. Commercial burglaries, 86. This year, we have 67. All other burglaries, which pertains to dwelling houses and churches, 227. And this year, 262. Now, the total major crimes so far for the year is 464, and last year we had 456.
And finally, in our news this morning, Barbados recorded 121 new COVID-19 cases from 606 tests conducted by the Barbados Santos Public Health Laboratory on Saturday. Of those positive cases, 18 people were under the age of 18 and 103 were 18 years and older. There were 122 people in isolation facilities, while 1,233 people were in home isolation. And that's our headline news for this Monday, July 4th. I'm Shane Seeley. It's back over to you, Pearson.
Shane, thank you very much. We'll take a break right here. When we come back, I'll ask the question, are you drinking your water? And are you drinking sufficient water? And why should you drink more water? And why should you drink... So many questions, but I know you'll have the answers. I'll give you a chance to win some water with us in just a moment. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It is now 7 minutes after 7 o'clock. Time for today's NPure Water Filtration Bajan Pure question of the day. We're starting today with a question of the day, a chance for you to win with us. And of course, I'll remind you that as you wake up every day, one of the first things you should do is have a large glass of water right after waking up. Why? It's a great way to start your day. Why? Because it flushes away toxins that might have accumulated overnight. Bet you didn't know that. Bet you didn't know that. And did you know too that water regulates your body temperature? Yes. That's why if you feel a little bit of heat building, drink water. Don't go for the sweetened beverage. Drink water. It deals with headaches. It deals with rehydration. It deals with a whole host of things. Water. And we're talking Bajan pure water today. So I have a question for you. And should you call me on 228-5562 or 228-5563 and correctly answer that question, yeah, you're going to get to sample some Bajan Pure water today. It's the N-Pure Water Filtration Bajan Pure question of the day. That tip again, remember to drink a large glass of water right after waking up. Release those toxins and rehydrate all day long because it regulates your body temperature. So the question today is, ta-da-da, where can you purchase Bajan Pure water in bulk? Lots of it, bulk purchases of it. Where in Barbados can you purchase Bajan Pure water in bulk? 228-5562 or 228-5563. I'm sure a number of you have already consumed your Bajan Pure purified water, but where can you purchase them, Bajan Pure water in bulk? Where can you go? Where? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call me now and let me know. I have some water for you. And water is really good for you too. So let's call and win some water with Bajan Pure today. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Come on, let's go. Good morning, hello.
Morning, Pearson. How are you?
I am doing so well. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Good.
The answer
Don't answer me yet. I have to get to know you, right? You know how I do this. What's your first name and where are you watching us from?
My name is Cynthia.
Hello, Cynthia. What parish are you watching us from?
St. John.
St. John. Good. Now I know it's you, Cynthia. So, Cynthia, do you drink your water bright and early in the morning or do you drink something hot instead?
Hot instead, hot.
Guilty as charged. Me too. You do?
I put lemon in hot water.
So you squeeze some lemon into your hot water and you just drink it like that?
Yes.
Do you add sugar?
No.
Why do you do that?
I prefer it that way. I prefer it instead of milk.
Well, fair enough. So just hot water and lemon?
Yeah, a little lemon.
You don't even dip a little tea bag in there?
No, I don't use tea bag.
Fair enough. What's your answer for me, Cynthia?
Massey.
Cynthia, that's your final answer?
Yeah.
No. I'm looking for the warehouse. Sorry. I hope I didn't give it away.
Oh, yeah. Yes. All right. Okay.
So thank you for trying, okay? Thank you, Cynthia. I hope I didn't give that question away. 228-5562 or 228-5563. I know my siblings are going to lambaste me by the end of the day. You're talking too much, they will tell me. 228-5562 or 63. Where can you purchase Bajan Pure water in bulk? I want the warehouse where you can go to purchase your Bajan Pure water in bulk. 228-5562 or 63. Hi there, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
I'm doing well, thank you for asking. What's your first name and what parish are you watching us from?
My first name is Tennyson and I'm watching from Christchurch.
Tennyson from Christchurch. All right, Tennyson, so what about you? When you wake up in the morning, what do you do, the first thing you drink?
I will drink a large cup of pipe water, tap water.
For true. Tennyson, you telling me the truth or you only telling me what I want to hear?
No, I'm telling you the truth, every morning.
Seriously? So you go straight to the tap, turn it on and drink that water?
Yes, please.
You don't even have a cup of tea, a glass of juice or anything first?
No, that come after. That come half an hour after.
And you've been doing that all your life?
Not all my life, but for a number of years now.
So what started you on this first thing in the morning, water?
By doing a little research and see how it purges your body first in the morning.
Yeah, it removes the toxins indeed. Do you know that water helps to regulate your body temperature?
I didn't really know that part, but now, yeah, I heard you say that this morning. So.
Well, now you know. Now you know, Tennyson. Tennyson of Christchurch, what's the answer for me?
Unit 3A, so Third Warehouse, Complex St. George.
Tennyson, you work there?
Pardon?
Do you work there?
No, please.
So how come you go to unit this and that? How is it that you know the directions so well, the location?
But you know how things go in this world nowadays.
Technology, right?
Technology. It doesn't get old, does it?
Not at all. It probably never will. But Tennyson, you're absolutely right in telling us it's at Salters Warehouse Complex there at Salters in St. George. So for anyone who's buying in bulk, that's where you go. Tennyson, you stay on the phone and we'll take some more details from you. Congratulations. You've won yourself some Bajan Pure purified water today. Thank you very much. Tennyson of Christchurch, he's answered correctly. The warehouse is at Salters in St. George. It's the Salters Warehouse Complex, Salters St. George, where you can go to get your N-Pure, your Bajan Pure water in bulk. So for those of you who are stocking up because you have your little space at the back that you do some retailing, or if you already own a larger establishment, you go to the Salters Warehouse Complex, Salters in St. George, to get your Bajan Pure water in bulk. And note the name, Bajan Pure. We encourage you today to start thinking of drinking more water bright and early in the morning, a large glass of Bajan Pure water. Drink it, release those toxins that you would have gathered overnight, and water helps to regulate your body temperature. Feel a little bit heated? Water. Feel a little bit cold? Water. 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 We'll take a break right here. When we come back, let's talk Caricom with Ambassador Commission.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 15.5 minutes now after 7 o'clock this Caricom day, and I'll say it until I grow tired because I think we all need to be able to know and be able to say it too proudly. Caricom Day today, July the 4th. Joining us in our conversations on Caricom is Barbados Ambassador to Caricom, His Excellency David Commission. Good morning to you, Ambassador.
Good morning, Pearson, and happy Caricom Day to you.
Likewise to you. I know across the Caribbean, the Caricom flag is being raised alongside the national flags. It's a holiday in Guyana today with the headquarters of Caricom. What a day.
Yes, and well, it's Caricom Day because exactly 49 years ago on this day, the 4th of July, the then Prime Minister of Barbados, the Right Excellent Errol Walton Barrow, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Mr. Michael Manley, Guyana, Mr. Forbes Burnham, and Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Eric Williams, met at Chaguaramas in Trinidad and signed the Treaty of Chaguaramas, establishing the Caribbean Common Market and Community Caricom. And so today it's the 4th of July is celebrated as Caricom Day, but this is a day on which we must remember those four visionary leaders, those four architects of Caricom, and we must also remember Mr. William Dimas, the Trinidad and Tobago national Caribbean economist, intellectual, who was virtually the intellectual author of Caricom, and he became the first Secretary General of Caricom. We also need to remember on this day our own late, great George Lamming, the quintessential Caribbean man, a great supporter of Caricom. And it was so fitting that at the opening ceremony of the Heads of Government Conference in Suriname yesterday, they observed a minute of silence to pay respect to the late George Lamming.
So it's a significant day for the Caribbean region, and thanks to 49 years ago when it all started, we are living its reality still today. Not a perfect world, but nonetheless we are seeing the benefits day by day and increasing incrementally as it goes. So the Caricom heads are meeting today and continue to meet, having had the opening ceremony yesterday. And yesterday, many of them came forward and said quite a few things as well. What do you think stood out for you from yesterday's speeches at the opening ceremony?
Well, just to make the point that even though the opening ceremony was in yesterday evening, that they have, even before the opening ceremony, they have been doing quite a few things in Suriname. Let's not overlook the sports. They began on Saturday with the annual Caricom 10K for regional athletes. I think a Guyanese won the male section, a Jamaican the female. But then during the day, yesterday, Sunday, we had the meeting of the Council for Finance and Planning. That's where the Ministers of Finance and Economic Affairs had a very important meeting. They also had the heads of government, that is, had a working lunch with the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Antonio Guterres. And then in the evening, they had the opening ceremony. I think if you listen to the speeches, what has become clear now is that, in a sense, in the Caribbean, our leadership, we have no more illusions. We have no more illusions about the kind of world that we live in, the dog-eat-dog world we live in, all of the existential challenges that we face. We have no illusions anymore that there are countries and leaders out there that are somehow of some superior moral status. I think we have come to an understanding now that we are very much equal to anybody else in this world, that there's nobody out there looking out for us, that we really need to do for self, and that the world is becoming an increasingly difficult and dangerous place, and that the only way for us to respond to this is with more unity, more solidarity, more self-reliance, more doing for self. So I think that message has become increasingly clear. Also, I think that the international community is in the process of waking up to the value and significance of this grouping of small Caribbean nations, and that is evident by, for example, the presence in Suriname of the Secretary General of the United Nations, the presence in Suriname of the Secretary General of the Association of Caribbean States, the presence in Suriname of the OECD, that's the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, the club of very powerful nations. They're the director of their Center for Tax Policy and Administration. And I can really go on and on, but I think because in recent years, the Caricom leadership has been more assertive in, kind of taking international institutions and big countries, calling them to account, and making demands for justice, for compensation for climate change, for changes to the structurally unjust international order. And in many instances, speaking with one voice, even though when they do divide, we take them to task. But in many instances, they do speak with one voice. I think the profile of Caricom is on the rise, and a lot of people across the world are paying attention what Caricom says and does.
You went where I wanted to go, but thank you for taking me there, which is that suddenly, for some reason, within recent time, Caricom is being acknowledged by those global heads of global organizations and groupings who now suddenly realize the brilliance that comes from Caricom leaders. And that is a good thing, because it's that brilliance that will be meeting today and tomorrow to discuss further the business of the region. One of those entities outside of here will be coming from Africa. Let's talk about that influence and what it can mean for Caricom's movement forward and Caricom's relations with that continent.
Well, you remember last week we had a brief discussion about this. The Secretary General of the new Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States, and well, that organization really symbolizes the growing institutional relationship between, especially the Caribbean and Africa. We do also have our Pacific partners as well, but I think the real relationship that is taking root is between the Caribbean and Africa, and we really do need, we have to, as we know, I mean, we need to always go back to our history. The majority of the people of our community, our ancestors, were brought from the African continent across the Middle Passage centuries ago, and out of that history, that tragic history of oppression, of plunder, we have been resisting, and we have been trying to resist all of those impositions and to build our Caribbean civilization, our Caribbean nation, our Caribbean economy. And Caricom is the vanguard of that. Caricom represents our highest aspirations, to progress, to advancement, to nationhood, to sovereignty as a people. And I think in recent times, our political leadership has been getting it, but I think what we need to do, that the message and the coming together needs to penetrate our people more deeply. But our political leadership has taken hold of the idea that if we can only establish a deeper institutional partnership with the African continent, with the continent of our forefathers and foremothers, that we could be an even more powerful force in world affairs. And I think it's so necessary, Pearson. I mean, all of us would have seen those terrible pictures of what was done to African migrants at the border of Morocco and Spain in North Africa. Yes. And that, again, that's just a reminder of, the discrimination, the anti-Black racism that we're still fighting. So all of us, all people of African descent, we still have this battle to fight, this battle for equality, for our fair place in the world. And if Caricom and the African Union can come more closely together, and we can be more involved in helping each other to solve each other's crises and issues, and also to speak to the international community as a strong Pan-African, African Caribbean unit. That's where we need to go, Pearson. And it's happening. It's happening, perhaps not as fast as some of us would like, but it's happening.
Haiti is back in the news. We carried on the news here recently, the call by Haitians for the return of Jean-Bertrand Aristide. Interesting, I think, a development.
Yes, there are all kinds of agendas that play out in Haiti and all kinds of machinations. So, we have to be very careful. I should explain to viewers that I was supposed to be in Suriname today, but because of a family situation, I thought it prudent not to travel. But the first thing I did this morning, Pearson, was, now that you mentioned Haiti, was to send a message to our Prime Minister and our Minister of Foreign Affairs, about Haiti, because one of the first items, the business session of the conference will start this morning at 9:30 Suriname time, 8:30 Barbados time. And one of the first items on the agenda is Haiti. And I think so. It's very important. The discussion that will take place this morning on Haiti, or during the course of today on Haiti, is going to be very important. The United Nations office in Haiti, its mandate is coming to an end this month, and the United Nations has to determine whether it will renew the mandate and keep a presence in Haiti, or if that will simply come to an end. Caricom has to make a decision as to what will be our position on that issue. We also have to make a decision about sending a Caricom team into Haiti. We have to make a fundamental decision as to whether Caricom is really going to step forward and say to the international community, hey, we are going to take primary responsibility for helping our member state to solve its problem. And then are we going to carry along the African Union with us, which comes back to the discussion that we just had about how much more powerful that we are if we can act in concert with our African brothers and sisters. So those are the critical issues that are going to be discussed by our heads of government and our ministers of foreign affairs today when they grapple with the issue of Haiti. And I just hope we make all of the right decisions.
You know, Ambassador, we have to leave it there. I know you've made your decision based on a family matter, and I really want to wish the best. But nonetheless, we know that you're going to be still quite engaged with what's happening at the Caricom heads of government, and the update we expect from you next time we meet. Thank you so very much for joining us yet again, Ambassador.
And may I thank CBC. CBC has been wonderful in how you have promoted Caricom Day, the fact that you carried the entire opening ceremony of the conference live yesterday. I really want to give kudos to CBC.
And we thank you so very much. Thank you so much, Ambassador David Commichon, Barbados Ambassador to Caricom, in our conversations on Caricom. Happy Caricom Day, sir.
Thank you, and happy Caricom Day to you and to all Barbados.
Thank you very much indeed as well. So there we go. Now we will remember evermore. July the 4th is Caricom Day. Let's not get consumed by other messages we hear from elsewhere. July the 4th, Caricom Day. We'll take a break right here. We're coming back with more in just a moment.
From many distant lands, our forefathers came, some seeking adventure, some bound in chains. Through battles waged and fought, through victory and pain, by test of their courage, our freedom was gained. In homage to those gone before us, the heroes of lands in the sun, we vow to join hands and to focus on building one Caribbean. Raise your voices high, sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel our hearts beat as one. Celebrating song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound the victory drum for Caricom.
Morning, morning,
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Skip the line, stay inside, and pay the easy way online with the Pace Digital mobile app. Now you can pay for your renewed license, police certificate of character, and more via the EasyPay Plus platform with the Pace Digital mobile app. Log into EasyPay Plus, select the service, and confirm. Select the Pace Digital mobile app payment icon for your QR code. Open your Pace Digital mobile app and select the Pace Digital Pay tab. Scan the QR code and confirm your payment. Visit us online to learn more. Don't have the Pace Digital mobile app? Download it today.
So you see, there's a lot that the Pace Digital option can bring you, really and truly. And so joining us this morning to talk more about Pace Digital is the Business Development Officer, Gail Welch. Good morning to you, Gail, again.
Good morning, Pearson, and good morning to your viewers locally and internationally.
Thank you so very much. Now let's walk through Pace Digital again, step by step. What is it and how does it work?
Well, let us start with understanding what a digital payment is. For some persons, it's still unclear what a digital payment is and how it can be done. So with Pace Digital, when we talk about digital payments, we are talking about a method to use that I can use to make a purchase of a product or a service without cash. The payment is facilitated through technology, and there is a financial instrument attached to the technology. For Pace Digital, it is our Pace Digital card, and then we allow persons to use the technology platform to do a number of services, do purchases of a number of services, like what you just saw there with the EasyPay platform. So that is what a digital payment is, and it is very easy. For us at Pace Digital, it is all connected to your credit card, and that's why it's easy for our over 35,000 cardholders and mobile app users to use the facility to engage in services, purchasing of services, or even transferring funds.
So you must have the Pace credit card to be able to use the Pace digital payment option.
Yes, right? Please.
Good. So
that's correct.
Walking back a little bit now, because I'm hearing people say, I want to do my digital bit, but I must have the credit cards. How do I apply for that?
Again, we are making it simple for persons. Go online, pacedigital.com, PAYCE digital.com. Go to the Apply Now app tab on our website, and you will see the step-by-step process there. We have an easy or efficient way that you can know if you are pre-approved for a card, and we call it the pre-approval checker. And once you complete that pre-approval checker in less than 10 minutes, you will know if you are pre-approved for a Pace Digital card.
Right. Some basic information you'll be asked for, it will be assessed, and then woof, you've got your Pace Digital card, and you will have your Pace Digital payment option on your phone so that you can now do your transactions with ease. And more companies everywhere across the world, not just here in Barbados, are moving payment options online, and so we need to get on track as well. So for your thousands of holders of Pace Digital credit cards at the moment, it's incumbent upon them to really get onto the platform.
Yes, and it is an educational process, and we are working through it. Our cardholders and mobile app users, they are understanding it. And when they are challenged, they give us a call at 539-4444, which is our call center number. And we are able to educate them. I must say a big shout out to our agents on our call center. Pearson, they take thousands of calls a month just to walk through with our cardholders and our mobile app users the various things they need to know or they need to understand so that they can use the app.
It's a great way to pay. Now, I'm the consumer, so I'm paying using my Pace credit card and my Pace Digital app. For the provider of the service, however, that I'm taking, how do they now get onto the platform so that they can do the business and the transactions that we're looking to have expedited?
Excellent question. So we have over 400 small, medium, and micro businesses who are Pace Digital mobile partners. And again, you can find them on our website, pacedigital.com. Click on the mobile app tab and you go down through that page and you would see all of our vendors. I think we are still loading more as they come through daily. Yeah, so it is just a matter of completing that application form, a very simple form, again, for the mobile partners to complete and upload their typo application form as well as their certificate of business. You upload that along with proof of address and your ID card, front and back, and we have you set up in 48 hours.
Good. Within 2 days, we can have our transactions going. It's a very easy way to pay using your Pace Digital. And with over 400 businesses already on the Pace platform, then certainly it's the way to go. And it takes the hassle away from, for instance, I use myself, I forgot my wallet at home today. So, you feel stressed because where's my cash? But if you use a Pace Digital, you don't have that stress anymore.
And this is an excellent point, Pearson, because what we in Barbados we are not aware of is that in the international world, plastic is slowly diminishing, and the input or the coming into the market, the digital wallets, and to be able to use your mobile devices to settle your purchases and so on, and it is even getting so technically just jumped over that word, so advanced that there are interconnections now with even your car technology, so that you can upload your payment options there as well. And because there are so many features, we want to really encourage persons to give us a call so that we can walk you through. And when you talk about the card holder or the mobile app user, we're looking at the features, and the features for the Pace Digital app are really, really powerful. We are talking about being able to see your balance in real time. No longer, we take the guesswork out of it. Yes. You can see your balance real time. You can track your purchases. Yeah, you can track your purchases, and within the app, you have access to your statement for up to 6 months. And let's talk about the bill payments. We are moving you out of the line, and we are giving you the convenience of making those payments when you want and at your leisure. Yes. So therefore, the hassle of rushing to a line to pay your bills, we have put all of that within the app with over 40 vendors, with all of the utility companies in the app that you can make your payments. What about transferring? Have you ever been in the situation when you run out of money and you wish someone can transfer you really quickly some cash? Yes. You can do it with your Pace Digital app. So there are so many features within this app that we've been sharing with our mobile app users, and they are enjoying it. And you rolled in the clip earlier with our strategic partnership with Miss. Yes. So you can make your purchases or pay your bills. Any service that Miss has on the Easy Pay platform, you can settle with the Pace Digital app. And it is so very easy.
Right, so they interact already with a lot of government services and other commercial services as well. So it's a whole range of services that the Pace Digital will interact with. But if you need to know more, you can call the customer care desk at 539-4444. Easy, 539-4444. Or go to pacedigital.com, P-A-Y-C-E digital.com. Look, the information is right on your screen, folks. Pace Digital, more ways to pay. On social, just simply paste digital. The number to call is 539-4444 or to the website pacedigital.com. To know more, to sign up, to get to your card, and then you can have your mobile device as well, so you can find more ways to pay, indeed, with Pace Digital. Gail, we have to leave it there, Business Development Officer with Pace Digital. Thank you so much again. I think more and more people are getting to know. They're finding a lot more comfortable and easy to apply because you make it sound so simple. But to all of your partners, and if you're looking to become a partner with Pace Digital as well, just call the customer care or go online and see how you can sign up. And they'll walk you through it. Thank you so much, Gail Welch.
Thank you, Pearson.
You're welcome.
Have a fantastic day.
You do too. Thank you so much for calling. Now, we'll take a break right here. When we come back, I have some letters for you to unscramble. You ready for this? Stay with us. It's coming up in just a minute.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So 13 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. Time for some fun, ladies and gentlemen. Time for you to unscramble the letters. And when you do, you will discover a word. I do. That's the truth. So we've tossed the letters in the air. They're all jumbled up right now. And you get a chance, in your brilliance, to unscramble them and to let me know. But you need to call me on 228-5562 or 228-5563 when you unscramble the letters. Once you know the word, give me a call. These words are simple, easy. Promise not to stretch your brain too hard today, Monday. Don't know what will happen tomorrow, Tuesday. But let me go. 228-5562 or 63. What word is this? Vestfail. What word can you make with these letters? Vestfail. What word? Can you unscramble those letters to form? 228-5562 or 228-5563. That is so obvious. I can't believe that you're dilly-dallying. 228-5562 or 63. See? Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hey, Rons?
Yes, Pearson.
Hey, it's you. How you do? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And you?
I'm well. You listen to your TV, Rhonda. You know what I will tell you, right?
Yeah, well, I got to move from there. I
all right, that's all right. So
my phone. So
that's all right. You focus on me. Focus on me. What word is it?
Festival.
Yeah! Rons, you got it right. Well done.
Yes.
Well done. Thank you so much. Thank you for playing, all right?
Yes. Have a good day.
You do too. Thank you. And happy Caricom Day. Rhonda Hines-Graham, they're getting it absolutely right. The first word I helped you to unscramble is the word festival. And that's what you find when you unscramble those letters right there. Festival. Yes. So shall we give them another one? Let's give them another one. Let's give them another one. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Easy so. Look at this word. Look at these words. There are two words. Two words on your screen, all jumbled up, all scrambled up. But you have to unscramble them for me and tell me, what do you think those words are? 228-5562 or 228-5562. You guys are sharp today, man. Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Hello?
All right. Good morning. Turn off your TV for me, please. And I could tell that you're using a different device. You ready for me now?
Yes, please.
What's your name?
Kitana Griffith.
What's your first name, ma'am?
Kitana.
Say it again slowly.
Pardon me?
What is your name? Say it very slowly for me.
Kitana.
Kitana. Hello, Kitana. And what parish are you watching us from today, Kitana?
Barbados.
Kitana. How many parishes does Barbados have?
How many parishes?
Does Barbados have?
11.
And what parish are you in of those 11? Which one is that you're in? Kitana?
Yes, please.
What parish do you live in?
St. Philip.
So you're watching us from St. Philip today, Kitana?
Yes, please.
Good. So you're watching us from the parish of St. Philip. How old are you today, Kitana? How old are you?
I'm 9 years old.
9. What school do you go to, Kitana?
St. Mark's Primary School.
St. Mark's. All right, Kitana. Do you think, if you look at this screen right now, just look at what you're seeing right now. Tell me what words do you think are on your screen at the moment? What do you think those are?
Junior Monarch.
Is that mommy or daddy talking to your sister? Who's that talking to you?
My grandmother.
Is your granny talking to you? Your granny thinks that the word that she sees in front of her are junior monarch.
Yes, please.
Do you think your granny is a brilliant woman?
Yes, please. She is a brilliant woman.
I like it, Kitana. I love it. What's your granny's first name?
Oprah.
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 All right. Okay, no problem. Kitana, you're absolutely right. It is indeed junior monarch. Well done. Thank you very much, okay?
Yes, please.
Have a good day at school today at St. Mark's Primary, Kitana. Junior monarch. Ah, yes, that's what's in those letters there. We have 9 minutes to go. Do we do another one or do I not do another one? You guys advise me here. So we're unscrambling letters at the moment. Should we do another one, folks? All right, we don't do another one, but thank you, everybody. We'll take a break here, and when we come back tomorrow, we have another set of scrambled letters, but we'll take a break and come back with more in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Our next Bajan from afar left Westbury Road and found herself in Qatar, of all places. Dr. Pauline Morris, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How on heaven's earth did you find yourself in Qatar?
Well, I guess it's a little bit like your last guest. I wanted to have a better future for my daughter. And I was an anesthetist at the time, and I thought, I want to see how anesthesia is done somewhere else in the world. So I went to the UK first.
Mm-hmm.
And after working in the UK for you know what they say, I got the 7-year itch. So after 7 years as a consultant there, I thought, let's have another adventure. So I found myself in Qatar.
There you are now. And you did some amazing things. You would have left Westbury Road, you would have gone into Haggart Hall, you went to the Alexandra School. I'm just using all of this to put, behave yourself, to put you into context so that everyone goes, yes, I remember her from school. I remember her from the area where I lived as well. So how's life now for you in Qatar?
Well, Qatar is very different from the Western world. I mean, whenever you move, and there are cultural differences everywhere. And we see the UK as a patriarchal society to ourselves. And we think that we're very similar in many things. And that's really not true, except for giving directions. They give just as bad directions as us. But it was very different culturally. And then I spent nearly 20 years, living that westernized life and going to Qatar, where it's an Islamic country, where the culture and the society is very different. It took a lot of mind shifting for me, but it's absolutely wonderful. I really enjoy my life there. It's good fun, actually.
So how do you maintain being a Barbadian, your culture, the things that are normal for you? How are you able to do so in Qatar?
Well, believe it or not, I found another Bajan in Qatar.
Is that so?
We just get everywhere. Yes, in the same hospital I work with Miss Lindola, and she's from Barbados. Great lady. She's been like a sister to me. And in the world that we live in now, you don't lose connection with people the way you used to. When I went to study in Trinidad, I spoke to my mother maybe once a month, that sort of thing. But now you've got everybody at your fingertips. So remaining Bajan is not difficult. And the interesting thing about being in Qatar is it's very close to India. So a lot of the fruit that we're accustomed to, we still get in Qatar. I can still get cuckoo in Qatar.
Oh, wow.
Believe it or not. I can still get okra. I can still get tin salmon. I can't get flying fish. So actually maintaining my Bajanism is not really that hard. As you can probably tell from the way I speak. I actually speak like this all the time. So I don't feel as if I'm removed from home. I'm I'm on a pit stop somewhere else.
So when you speak like this all the time, what do people look at you differently? How do they respond to this accent of yours?
Well, the first thing most people do is try to guess where I'm from. So I play a little game with them. I give them 3 guesses and I tell them the first 2 don't count. But believe it or not, once or twice somebody's pegged me for Barbados in Qatar.
Wow.
So it sounds as if it's miles and miles away and it's so far and so different, but it's comfortable living there. It's somewhere between Dubai and Saudi in terms of culture and society. So it's very clearly Islamic, but there's a lot of tolerance for the Western way of life. So it's actually a very comfortable place to live in. As a physician, I had to rearrange some of my thought processes about healthcare and how you care for individuals, because the way their society is set up is very different, and I have to respect that. So, and they love interacting with me because for them I'm a novelty.
Yes.
I'm what's the word I want? I'm exotic.
So within all of that you're doing, you're also launching something. You're working in other ways, because I'm seeing here Heart, Mind and Moxie. What's that about?
Yes. So in my medical career, I spent a lot of time in medical education and as an appraiser. So I worked a lot with my colleagues outside of clinical work. And I found over the years that I had a natural tact towards being able to speak with people and get them to be authentic and honest with me. And that has developed into coaching. And I started off just coaching doctors, and then it became healthcare professionals, and then it became professionals. Because people would say to me, do you only coach doctors? And no. So Heart, Mind and Moxie is the offshoot of my doctor coaching. And it's the process that I went through myself because I had a challenging start to my adult life. I had my daughter when I was 17. So it took me some time to work out where my heart and Moxie were. And that's what I use to coach my clients through. I've had good results for myself. My life speaks for it, and my clients get good results. So that's where the Heart, Mind, and Moxie comes from.
Very interesting. What time of day is it right now, by the way?
It is almost 12 o'clock lunchtime.
Oh, not too far. Just about 5 hours difference or so for us?
Well, I have a little secret. I have a little secret. Since since Good Morning Barbados first made contact with me, I am now with the UK visiting because I just became a grandma.
Oh, congratulations.
So I'm in the UK visiting for the time being, but I live in Qatar. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. I'll ask you what I also asked our previous guests as well. If you're able to come to Barbados right now, where's the first place you'd like to go?
Well, he answered the question for me. I was listening, and it was like he took the words right out of my head. I really would like to go to Oysters, not just for the food, but it's such a wonderful atmosphere, and you see so many people, and you're enjoying the music, and the food is great. And I used to go every single year I came home. So I am looking forward to the day I can come back to Barbados and go to Oysters and have myself some good Oysters fish. and maybe a rum.
Hint, hint. Fair enough. That's your choice. That's all right. But you still, no doubt, keep in contact with your Barbadian family here who are they still at Westbury Road, Haggart Hall's area as well?
No. Well, Westbury Road, where I used to live, no longer exists. Where the traffic lights are now is where our home actually used to be.
Okay.
So our house used to be next to, and some people will know them, Saw Shop. But that house isn't there anymore, and we moved to Passage Road after that. So we still have our property in Haggart Hall. That was my mom and my stepfather's property. And they've both passed away now. So we're getting that sorted. So my brother and sisters, they live in their own home there. So, and I've got my wonderful nephew Ezra and his wonderful son Edith. Oh, I'm so happy. Such beautiful children.
Yes.
Oh gosh, he's not a child. But, so I still have my family over there, yes.
So you're very... Haven't worn those clothes in so long. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us. That's our Bajan of Far, Dr. Pauline Morris. We got to leave it right there, folks. Thank you to my producer, Nadia Foster, technical director, Anderson Nurse with Ruel Ford, along with sound engineer, Christopher Bleman, and master control, Tamisha Green. I'm Pearson Boyne, thanking you for joining us as well and wishing you a very happy Caricom day today. Look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you.